Dr. McElroy, can you comment about organic versus conventional growing and how that would influence the therapeutic efficacy of cannabis?
Yeah, I think that's a good topic because, you know, at least the setups that we have now for growing medical marijuana, we're growing those plants in captivity. So if you're looking at an organic system, which is a sustainable system, then you're creating an ecosystem that's in balance of different organisms. When you grow a plant as a feedstock to be raw material for what John does and extract the plant, you really don't have the time to grow those plants long enough to create that balanced ecosystem that you would call organic. So how that would affect the end product of the cannabinoid and terpene ratios in the plants, I believe it would be minimal, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if you provide the conditions to grow extremely healthy plants, where you use no toxins whatsoever, but you do use supplementary nutritional salts, if you will, hydroponic salts, then you can create the purest type of feedstock to extract the medicinal compounds from the plant.
Thanks. Dr. McElroy, is there a way to know that products in a dispensary are not treated with pesticides or other chemical products?
That's yeah, that would be a regulatory thing, obviously, and you know, in the food world, there's routine analysis that looks for pesticide residues in things. But from personal experience, I know that you have quite an array of quality of product that finds its way into a dispensary. So I think this really has to be one of the things that is monitored through a regulatory system.
Right. And this is of interest since the state of Hawaii doesn't want us to grow marijuana outdoors. But, you know, presumably we're soon going to be able to grow it in greenhouse cultivation, which will be more in that direction. So any comment on that, Michael?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I've seen in a lot of different plants, not just cannabis, that the composition of secondary compounds in plants are stimulated by many, many different influences. It can be light, it can be nutrition, it can be water, it can be stress, all those kinds of things. So I think that each environment has the potential to deliver a certain, you know, balance and certain level of output of these secondary compounds. And I think until you really can master the cultivation techniques under those environments, can you optimize that? Can you grow very high levels of cannabinoids indoors? I would say absolutely yes. Do you get that same level outdoors and maybe even a different composition in the same plants? I would say yes. I think all of that is possible. Plants are very plastic in that regard, and I think it's something that it's difficult to anticipate, but if you have good tools to measure those compounds in the plants, then you can work towards optimizing the parameters that you can control in that cultivation environment.